It is certainly one of the greatest privileges of my life to support young musicians on their journey of artistic development. It's a really exciting process to get to know each student, to figure out what their short-term and long-term development goals might be, and how I can best strive to support them. That's okay. This is part of interpretation, is trying things even if you don't end up sticking with them, actually. So then let's go back to the beginning, because I thought we could up your drama factor here considerably. Talk to me about the beginning character.
It's very virtuosic, and it's like having me showing off.
Yeah, it's very like, well, look at me, there's nothing shy about this whatsoever. And I remember when I first learned this piece, I personally felt like, wow, I don't actually identify with that sense of drama. So I try to help my students prepare for a professional life in music by instilling in them the values of inspiring artistry and work ethic. Preparation is key, and I speak to them about what this preparation means, from the daily practice room grind to weekly studio class performances to weekly lessons to performances both here and out in the world. For me, technique and musicality are two sides of the same coin. And so I will frequently speak to them about how they can hone their technical tools, but also relate that back to their music making. I also care very deeply about physical setup and playing in as healthy of a manner as possible. And so I speak to my students about that frequently. At the beginning of every technique class, we go through various warm-ups together physically, and I will relate those concepts back to how they're playing so that there's an awareness of how they're using their body in connection to their instruments. I think that the string department culture of weekly lessons, technique class, and studio class is incredibly special. There's a consistency from me seeing my students 3 times a week for all of these activities, and they all sort of build upon and inform one another. Of course, weekly lessons and the individual attention there. In technique classes, which are group classes, students will learn technical concepts and also get their pedagogical brains starting to work, observing one another learn these concepts as well. And then studio class is performance and feedback based. So I ask them to give comments to one another, and I guide them in that process if they need that guidance. So that also leads me to the other point, which is that I also care about an environment in my studio that is positive and supportive. And the students are fantastic about supporting one another in my studio and in the school in general. We have conversations as a studio about what it means to be pursuing music, whether it's performance anxiety, the pressures of this life, caring for our physical and mental health. So I think that creates a culture of openness in the studio where the students feel that they're supported, and they can turn not just to me, but to one another.